John made us do this.
Welcome to Bronze and Modern Gods. A little bit of culture. I love classical music.
Oh, yes. You love to inject culture in people's lives, don't you, John?
I do. And in case you missed it right there, that little commercial that just happened, we have a live still happening Friday, September 25th, 5 p.m. Pacific. Whoop, whoop.
8 p.m. Eastern. Whoop, whoop.
There you go. I was waiting for that. It doesn't mean we don't have a great show today. Our topic today is online auction unboxing. I bought a ton of books on an online auction. They arrived via FedEx on a Sunday morning, and we'll go through it together and tell you the highs and lows and whether it was a good buy or not. We also have our hot book of the week. We've got our underrated book of the week. We've got the 25-year rule about the X-Files. And let's start off with our nerd shirts. Richard, what do you have?
I bought some comics from Street Level Heroes this week, and they shipped this really cool, it says Run Los Angeles, and it's got, I can't get the fingers in there. It's LA and zombie fingers, so.
You know, that's Run the Jewels. I'm hip. I know what the kids listen to with the hip.
Well, I don't. I got the T-shirt with comic books. It was kind of a package deal.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'm repping my Jack Kirby Captain America 193 cover, the Mad Bomb, his first issue of Cap when he returned to Marvel in 1975.
How many Cap shirts do you have, John?
And let's move on, Richard. You are not following us on Instagram or Facebook. You should do that. It's a Bronze and Modern Gods. And if you are listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, please leave us a like and a review. And, you can even send Richard a note when you visit us at bronzeandmoderngods.com. I see a lot of people signing up for the email list. We don't have an email yet, so we might have to do that for you.
That might be a good idea, John.
You might want to get to that. But why don't you tell everybody about the hot book of the week this week?
Our hot book of the week is Avengers number 8. This is the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, the time-traveling villain that pervades a lot of early Marvel titles.
Why is this book hot?
Jonathan Majors is joining the cast of Ant-Man 3. He made an announcement this past week. And we don't know what his role is. The role supposedly is going to be Kang the Conqueror. So this is still in the rumor phase, but it's more solid than most rumors out there.
It's funny, when you and I were talking about this book before we went live, we had the same reaction, which is we both freaking hate Kang.
Yeah, really. This book has been spiky hot for a while now because of persistent rumors that Kang was coming to the MCU. And all the time that I've seen this book go up and down, I've just been meh about it. It's just not a book that I look for my PC, and it's not a book that I would pick over other books out there to spec with.
Despite it being a Kirby cover, it's a boring cover. Kang is behind a force field. Ooh. You've got Kang, the most convoluted villain of the Marvel universe. I don't know if you were around, if you had dropped out of collecting. There was a miniseries called Avengers Forever by Kurt Busiek, and it was all about Kang, and it was supposed to tie in all the threads through Avengers history and make sense of everything. I got through 4 issues of that thing, and I couldn't understand what was going on. I bought it out of inertia. Kang gives me vertigo. I can't take it.
Yeah, time travel is just such a complex thing to introduce into any plot. It makes it, by its definition, difficult to follow. And Kang just has that effect on books, in my opinion. And to my feeling is we don't really need to use that trope of time travel to advance a story. It's just not going to do justice Ant-Man 3. Just mark my words.
You and I are in the minority because 9.2s are selling for $2,000. Last week, a 6.5 sold for $999. That's up from $760, which was the 90-day trend. So people are on fire for this book. I tell you, It's interesting. I'm not a fan of Kang, yet I love Immortus and Ramatut.
No, it's amazing. That's amazing.
That if you get that joke, you belong on this podcast.
This is a perfect example of a book that you spec that you don't care for. If you get it, if you see it and you could buy it cheap, buy it. because you can turn around and make a profit on it. For me and John, it's not a book that we are out there actively looking for, but I'll take advantage of it if I come across it.
I don't think anybody ever says, Kang is one of my favorite villains. I put him up there with Doctor Doom. I don't think anybody likes Kang. And if you do, you're lying. Stop lying. Talking about lying to ourselves, let's go to the main topic this week, which was the online auction unboxing. Now, why am I lying to myself? Because I spent a lot of money a few weeks ago on liveauctioneers.com. There was a huge auction from Illinois, based in Illinois, of a huge, it looks like a store was out of business and closed, and they were selling off the entire store inventory. So I went in. You heard on the podcast a couple of weeks ago where I talked about a couple of the lots that I lost out on, including that one with the Blue Marvel #1, which was a heartbreaker. But I did win a few lots here, and they arrived this morning, which was crazy. I didn't expect FedEx to come on a Sunday morning, but hey, welcome. Glad to see you. There were 2 long boxes and a large box by itself that contained a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books that I won, and a modern book lot of about 200 more books. These long boxes were packed. So we're talking 340 plus books in each long box, and the other books combined. Total cost for me, the auction winnings altogether were $506. Here's the kicker. The shipping was $270 combined.
Yeah, you became the villain to your FedEx deliverer because he had to haul those boxes out of his truck.
He was a nice guy. He came to the door and he goes, "These are really heavy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, they are. Sorry." And he goes, "Are they comic books?" I was like, "Ooh, you're a nerd too." So that was kind of cool. So I'm all in for $770. Ugh. All right. So what do we got? You ready, Richard?
I am ready.
Let's take a look.
Okay, here we go. As you can see, this one was 58 pounds, so it was not cheap to ship, and let's not waste any time. Let's get right in there. Let's see what we have. We'll just pull out some and just start looking. Some Batman, Fables, more Batman. Oh, hey, what's up, DD Comics fan? Got some for you here. Looks like they all have stacking curls, so they're all going to need to be pressed. Ultimate X4. Wow, I have no idea what that is. Spider-Man Unlimited. That's a cool cover. Spider-Man Unlimited. Spider-Man Unlimited. I got a run of Spider-Man Unlimited for you here, kids. Marvel Team Up. I like this series because I love Scott Collins' art. Oh my god, he's so good. The Hire. Anybody hear of this book? I haven't. The Hire? No idea. Whoa! Hey, now we're talking. Now we got some business going on here. Yes. Excellent. Finally, something decent. Getting a little worried here. What do we got? Whoa! Okay. Yeah, some Spawn 8s. Not too shabby. Could take those. One thing I need to give him credit for is packaging these really well. I wasn't expecting them to be so well packaged, so that's a nice surprise. So let's rip them open and see what we have. All right, Turtles time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know what issue this is, but it looks good. More Turtles. Issue 9. The movie adaptation. Ooh, number 69, a late version, a late edition. Number 63. The 69 looks good. 63, not so much. Looks like a later printing of number 2. Some color breaking stuff happening there. Number 8 with our man Cerebus. Number 9 we saw the Sultan Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles authorized martial arts and training manual. So if you're learning how to do martial arts via the Turtles, something's gone wrong in your life. Same thing if you're learning from Michelangelo. And then we have Leonardo in his little micro series. Okay, let's go through these together. Guardians, Civil War II, that's recent. Some Deadpool, nice, good. Cable and Deadpool. Cable and Deadpool. Hey! A banged up, screwed up Deadpool number 1.
So, what's the verdict? I don't know. No really big scores. I mean, I wasn't flipping through and I wasn't finding myself like, oh, a stack of Ultimate Fallout 4 newsstands. Okay, that's cool. That didn't happen. Now, there were some decent books in there there's a few $100 books here and there. There's a few $50 books here and there. But there's a lot of books. The good news and the bad news, there's a lot of books that are $10 to $15, and I have multiples of those. There's a lot of filler. That one box of Image Comics is almost entirely filler. I mean, God bless Eric Schanauer, but I don't think anybody's screaming for a run of Age of Bronze anytime soon. So that box is pretty much a loss, except for the 42 copies of Spawn number 10.
Wow. Number 10 is the one with Cerebus, right?
Yes. And then there's multiples of 8, 9, 11, and 12. So the Spawns were nice. The really cool thing is there are some later Ashley Wood Spawn miniseries stuff in there that are tougher to find. Those tend to go for $15-$20. So I'm glad those were in there. So what am I coming away with here? First of all, let's talk about this collection and the stuff that was up for this from this store that closed. God bless this guy who had the store. He didn't know what he was doing. And I say that because I looked through just these boxes I won, and there are multiples of Lucifer, which was like a Vertigo book. Lucifer 59 through 66. Like 20 copies of each, 15, 20 copies of each. Why are you ordering so many copies of Lucifer in Illinois, my friend?
Well, that's the fun of this, though. You know, I bought collections. I bought long boxes, sight unseen, you know, with a general description of the contents. But it's like treasure hunting, you know? It's like getting that treasure chest and lifting that lid and seeing is it gold and jewels? Or is it a bunch of, you know, skulls and bones? You don't know, but that whole process is what makes it fun.
Don't get me wrong. It was a real thrill opening this stuff and going through it with you guys. At the entire time, I'm thinking $770. $770. You spent $770 on this. So is this a win? Is this a loss? I think it's going to go in the win column. But here are the caveats. There are some decent books in there. it's going to take some effort. I'm not going to make my money off of, like I said, 3 or 4 books. Like here's the Ultimate Fallout 4. That didn't happen. But there are a lot of really good books in there and some decent runs. Just random example. It's got like the first multiples of the last few issues of Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Dark Horse, both the art cover versions and the photo cover versions, which, I have no love for Buffy or this book, but a lot of people do. So those will sell for $15, and even if I put them in as a set, they'll sell for even more. But I brought some of the better books for a little show and tell if you're up for it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
I saw this and I had a little memory and I went and looked it up, and this book sells for a lot when it's a slab in CGC 9.8, and that is the A-Team #1.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So it's a crispy chef's kiss edition of A-Team #1 that'll go off to CGC. So I was really happy with that. Ultimate Fantastic 421, the first appearance of the Marvel Zombies. We'll be talking about this book later, not coincidentally. That was in there. Only one of those, though. You pointed this one out for me to look for because I had no clue, and I found it. And that is Detective 850, which is the first Gotham Sirens. Is that what they're referred to?
I believe so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ladies, the Gotham Sirens. So, again, really nice.
Great cover, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of those really great Detective Comics covers in that run. This was something that's a real oddball book. Mike Mignola, The Amazing Screw-On Head. I saw it was Mike Mignola, and I thought, I better look this up. Glad I did, because there's about 9 of them, and in mint they sell for $15-20 each. So there you go. Like I said, little step by step, making this money back. I saw this book and I thought, wow, this is going to be a real desirable book for people. And I went and looked it up, and not many people, I don't think, know about this book. I think that's the thing that's keeping the value where it is now. But have you ever seen this cover?
I can't say that I have. No.
I texted this to Steven from Minor Keys Comics, because he was like kind of following me along when I was unboxing this stuff through Instagram. And he's like, I've never seen that book for sale. Well, I got 8 of them.
Have you looked up it on CGC to see how many are slab?
No, I haven't, but I saw a few slabs on eBay sold. They sell okay. But if you're looking for the Zatanna booty cover by Ryan Sook,
I got the cover.
Yes.
Nice cover.
This was really cool and really fun, and I'm glad this is going to be for my personal collection. I actually got something for my personal collection out of this, which was great. And that is the final issue of Conan the Barbarian, the original one.
Yeah.
By Roy Thomas.
Wow.
And it's got a little certificate of authenticity, and it's got a little seal, So what do I do? Do I keep it like this? Do I rip it open and send it to CBCS for an authentic signature?
I keep it like as it is.
I kind of want to, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this is super tough black cover, last issue, low print run. Yes, so good book there. And to wrap it up a little bit, we were talking about those detective covers. There's a really nice Harley Quinn Joker cover here
that's beautiful.
It should sell at a premium if it doesn't. And then, speaking of our girl Zatanna, there she is with Batman. I'm dying to know what this story is about. Batman and Zatanna teaming up.
Yeah, read it. It's your book.
I'll read it on the train. And we're showing this one because we talked about this, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures, a number 69, which I think is 2 or 3 issues away from the last issue. A $20 book. There's a couple slabs that sold for even more than that, and it's beautiful.
Wow. Bet it's low print. That's why. Yeah,
for sure. So it was good. Like I said, the jury is out whether I will make a profit. I kind of think I will, but it's going to take some time and some effort. I was really hoping that one long box of Marvel and DC titles from the mid 2000s or 2000s, the aughts, was going to have a lot of gems in there, and there's just someone cherry picked. There was a lot of stuff like that Ultimate Fantastic Four. They cherry picked everything around issue 22. 22 is the real first full appearance of the Marvel Zombies. Every issue was around that one except for 22. All the 22 were gone. So somebody kind of knew what they were doing and did a little bit of cherry picking.
It's the internet. I remember the days where you could buy a log box from somebody and it was like, I don't know, I'm just going to sell the whole thing, as opposed to them going through and looking up the values of each book individually.
Those days are over, but
yeah.
I remember those days back in 1995. 1995, that must mean it's time for the 25-year rule.
You are the segue master. You know that?
I'm 25 rule this week. It's where we look at that tipping point of nostalgia when it's been 25 years. You've got more money than you did 25 years ago. And you want to recreate your collection with books that came out during your formative period. And this week we've got one that I think a lot of people will remember, X-Files #1 from Topps Comics. Do you remember when this was out?
I remember the series. I don't remember this specific book.
This comic was super hot when it was out. X-Files #1 was a hot book, which was a lifesaver for Topps Comics. The trading card company tried to do a comic book deal where they were doing their own comics, and they did not have much success at all until they got a hold of X-Files license. And boy, this was a hot, on-fire book. I remember at the time. It's still got a decent fan base. 9.8s go for about $150 on eBay. It's a tougher comic to find because, you had that mid-90s slump for comic shops. There's that huge fan base to this day that picks them up. So if you are a Mulder and Scully fan, I almost said Scolder and Mully. Thank God I didn't call attention to that. You might want to pick up a copy of X-Files #1. They're pretty easy to find right now, and they're pretty cheap. But, you got that 25-year rule. Who knows what's going to come up?
They may reboot the series. You never know.
Maybe they'll do a movie.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I remember. There's a couple of movies, didn't they? Oh, well, hey, go buy one anyway. So now let's move on to our underrated books of the week. Richard, why don't you go first? You have a good one.
Yeah, this is a very controversial book to this day. It's Miracleman #1 from back in 1985. And I was thinking of all the books when I was new to the hobby of collecting comics and new to comics in general. The books that are memorable to me, they're books like Grendel and Mage and Cerebus. And, these are all these off-title books. They're independent titled books. Love and Rockets. Those books meant more to me than most of the Marvel books or DC books. I don't know why. This appealed to my taste. One of the biggest books that I really liked was Miracleman. Mm-hmm. Miracleman was it's first of all, it's written by Alan Moore. And Alan Moore has brought us things like The Watchmen, V for Vendetta, The Killing Joke. Very prolific, very, very... Swamp Thing is another thing. Very important writer for comics who wasn't a comic writer, if that makes sense. Yeah. Neil Gaiman says that reading Alan Moore's books told him or taught him that comics had more depth to them than he originally thought and could tell a real narrative story. And that was what pulled Neil Gaiman into doing comic books. But this particular book started off as a clone of Shazam. Shazam, the company that wrote the book had the license to Shazam and was printing Shazam books in England. Then they lost the license and they turned around and they made another book with the exact same character with a different logo on the shirt called Marvelman. And there's a whole family of this, like there was Shazam, the Shazam family. There's a whole family for Marvelman. Then it switched to Miracle. This property's changed hands so many times. It changed to Miracleman, and Alan Moore got a hold of the story of this family of superheroes, and he took the camp out of it and took it seriously and looked at this as a story about transition from humans to basically gods. and how people handled that particular dynamic. Some people handle it better than others. And the whole storyline is all about that play between those two diametric poles. Excellent story.
This was pre-Watchmen. This is pre-Squadron Supreme by Mark Gruenwald. This was really the basis and the first time someone said, what if superheroes existed in the real world? And it was a groundbreaking book at the time.
And very violent. Alan Moore did not pull punches in this book. There's a lot of scenes. There's a lot of...
Issue 15.
Yeah, there's the birth scene. Yeah, there's a lot...
That's issue 9. Issue 15, yeah. Kid Miracleman kills everyone.
Oh, basically. That's right. Yes, he does. And yeah, don't want to spoil the story for you, but it's an excellent read. This whole series is great. This first issue has GPA of only $110. You could pick up raws for $10. I picked up 5 raws for $7 a piece from a dealer on eBay. Easy to get, very easy to get. To me, it's worth picking up not only for its potential collectability, but also for the story.
Yeah.
The series has been rebooted twice. The last one was written by Neil Gaiman. And there's a lot of legal battles. There's a lot of owners of the property between Alan Moore, who's not easy to get along with on his best days, and the original owner of Marvelman, Miracleman. And Marvel has their hands in there, and Neil Gaiman has his hands in there. So at this point, the story is, according to Neil, Marvel owns the property now, and Marvel can set the direction. He's actually looking forward to seeing what Marvel does with this. As of 2019, Marvel supposedly is the owner of the franchise. But again, this whole title has been bogged down in legal issues, and it's really, really a damn shame, because this is such a good story. It's such a good story. I would love to see a movie based on this. I think it's got all the characteristics, just like all of Alan Moore's stories. He's a great writer. He writes compelling characters and very involved storylines. With all these complexities in the ownership, I'm wondering if it will ever happen. But if it does, now is the time to buy it. I tell you, you can't get any cheaper. Buying Mint, the first, issue number 1s, for $7 a piece, it's worth it, in my opinion. Read it. Definitely read it. There are a couple issues that you want to look out for, or versions of number 1. The San Diego Comic-Con, Eclipse, who's the publisher, pulled 1,000 of the first copies that were printed for this book. Out of them, 400, they put in a gold certificate. It's basically a yellow piece of paper. A gold certificate saying, this was a San Diego Comic-Con special edition, and it was numbered 1 through 400. And Alan Moore actually signed those books. Getting Alan Moore to sign a book is a rarity. If you come across any property that Alan Moore signed, yeah, please buy it. So there's 400 of those, and then the balance, they took a blue certificate and they put it in that book, and there's about 600 of those. So if you come across any Miracleman number 1s, first thing you got to do is open it up and see if you see that gold. Yeah, if you see that gold or the blue. The last time I saw a gold for sale, it was $800. I did not look up the GPA today. But,
do you know what the rarest Miracleman book is, though?
No.
So they did Miracleman 3D. And was, reprints of the old Marvelman UK stuff with, I think, a new framing sequence to kind of bring it up to date. And they did it in 3D. However, Eclipse being this, Northern California, San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, granola eating hippie. Did I have enough adjectives there?
I think you do, Mr. California boy.
Y'all get that? Okay. They did what they think is the right thing, which, okay, great. They did a non-3D version for people who had vision impairments and could not use the 3D glasses. And the only way you could get the non-3D version of Miracleman 3D was by sending it away and ordering it from the publisher directly by mail. So
Wow.
there is a Miracleman 3D, non-3D version that was available by mail order only, and I think there are supposedly less than 300 of those in existence. So
Well, that gives you something to hunt for, everybody. That's awesome.
yeah, that's a crazy book. Speaking of crazy books, we saw a preview of it earlier in this collection I just got, and that is Ultimate Fantastic Four, number 21, and we'll throw in number 22 in there as well. Why is this book hot? Because it is the first appearance of the Marvel Zombies. Yes, they actually appeared in the Ultimate Universe first. They were a zombie Fantastic Four that appeared and fought the Ultimate Fantastic Four. And the idea was then spun off into several successful Marvel Zombie miniseries, which you've seen a billion of those. To this day, they still do Marvel Zombie variant covers, Thor number 5 being the most notable example in recent times. This book has kind of caught fire now. Raws are going from $10 to $25, but 9.8 slabs of issue 21 and 22 are ranging from $100 to $150. This is a good one to go hunting in those back issue bins for, because not a lot of dealers have picked up on this yet, as you saw through my cherry-picked collection that I got today. You missed this one, you beep. So I was able to get one of those. So take a look for this book. And issue 21 and 22, they're not on the cover. There's no zombies on the cover. Issue 23, it's got, Sue Storm screaming and running from a bunch of zombie handprints on windows. That one's really obviously a Marvel Zombies cover. But 21 and 22 are the ones to look for. So you got to snag them up if you see them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Marvel Zombies seems to be a perennial thing. I don't know if it's got that popularity that keeps having Marvel bring it back, or is Marvel trying to make it something?
Hey,
either
I'm
way.
all for it, because they use Howard the Duck as a main character in a lot of the Marvel Zombies miniseries, and I love Howard, so anything that keeps Howard in the public consciousness.
Amen. Same here. Love Howard.
All right, just a reminder, we're going to see you this Friday, September 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for our second live sale with our special guest, Forrest. You know him as PD Comics Fan on Instagram. So make sure you join us. Right, Richard?
Right. John, are you going to bring your champagne with you?
I'm going to bring some Dom. We're going to be popping corks and having some bubbly and selling some funny books.
All right. Looking forward to it.
All right. We will see you guys then. Have a great week.
Stay safe.